It said it couldn't connect. But it was wrong. So we are live, before I expected to be. Which is fine. We can edit our stream info live here anyway. Alright, we'll update that. Yes. Dismiss. So we are, unfortunately, going to be heading back to... Where are we? There we go. Switch this. This is a little bit of a look behind the curtain. You have all sorts of settings to set up. But yes, tonight is mostly going to be TRing and starting over. And we're also having a little bit of a hardware test, because we downloaded more RAM. Now, unfortunately, I had a bit of a connection issue, so I am missing my chat embeds in OBS, but this is fine. We don't need the chat embeds in OBS, we will look at them in Twitch itself. So first things first, we need to clear inventory. We do still have random stuff in our inventory, so let's get rid of all that stuff. And stuff like this. We don't need those. We'll keep those. Let me just scroll all the way up. Alright, we didn't have that much extra random stuff. Alright, so we have 108 slots open here. We have 17 slots open here. And we have 109 things in here. So it all works out well for us. So now we're just going to empty this. So the big question here is, what do we want to do with our next life? And we have a couple options. So we're going to be inquisitive. That much we know. The question is, which inquisitive? Alright, so apparently I got a second one. We'll just move it here. Because they're not exclusive if you have one in the bank and one in your inventory. We're going to have to do the same thing with our jeweled cloak here. Yeah. So we could do sorcerer. Like, sorcerer is a good bet for our EK. I don't know what our third tree would be there, but we can definitely do it. We, of course, just like here, we have to go into Feydark for our hit and damage, but we don't get a trance like we did on Cleric. Now, we could go Favored Soul. It's been a while since we did a Favored Soul Inquisitive. There are all kinds of options available to us. And at some point, we're going to have to throw a lot of this stuff into the actual bank here. But for now, we're doing fine. And the hardware is doing fine as well. So if anyone's wondering what the hardware changes that we made are, we downloaded more RAM. So if anyone has been around for a while, there has been an issue with the stream dropping, and we investigated it, And in the Windows event log, we found all sorts of stuff about essentially that it stopped responding. Like the network card stopped responding, the driver stopped responding. Oh, there's the jeweled cloak that we mentioned. And when we said it stopped responding, so it's like, okay, so I got a new network card. I got new drivers. I got all kinds of different stuff. So, but I'd replaced essentially all the hardware. And what I eventually noticed was that it was dropping when my RAM usage hit 100%. And that wasn't really how I expected that to go. I didn't really cross my mind that running out of RAM would be what was causing network issues. But as far as I can tell, that seems to be the case. That essentially, and I don't know this for sure, but essentially what had happened was, when Windows got low on RAM, somehow in its prioritizing what gets attention and what gets to use the remaining RAM, apparently the network driver is first on the chopping block. So, yeah, that's not great. So, we were running before, I believe, 16 gigs of RAM. And we are now currently running about 80 gigs of RAM. So I got a 64 gig kit. So, a pair of 32 gig sticks. So we added 64 gigs of RAM to our existing 16. So RAM should no longer be our bottleneck. I am, of course, keeping an eye on our other potential bottlenecks. None of them seem to be complaining so far. But we have reached a point where we now have our space clear. So it is time to go in and get our reincarnate on. Which means, first things first, we'll go to our guild ship. And we will head to, let's see. Yeah, we've got a couple tomes to crunch, so we'll clear up some space there. Let's see, first deck, third deck. Third deck is what we want. Come on. Okay. Nope. Not the Cannith one. You. Trade essences. Get some of these shards going. And these are all bound to character, and I have better than +2 tomes on that, so that's not a problem. But where we're actually going is we're going to be going to the 12, because we need our heart. So let's go to the 12. And we will try to decide on which class we want to play for our next Inquisitive Light. So, hello. True Heart of Blood for racial reincarnation, yes. 46. We're getting low. Fortunately, I've been hitting most stuff on my way up, so it's not been that big a deal, but I think I'm averaging under 20 per life, and therefore we are going to run out eventually. But onward to the Hall of Heroes and the Reincarnation Glade. So we could go for Sork. We could go for Rogue, which we can do all kinds of things. Let's see. I'm just going to pull up a couple builds here, and then we can go over them. The thing is that, actually, I don't think I want to do Sork, because, alright, so for this life, we ended up running in the Inquisitive Imbue. We didn't actually use the Dark Apostate Imbue, because the Dark Apostate Imbue is a D6, and the Inquisitive Imbue is a D10. So while it is true that yes, it is easier to stack spell power, well, most spell power, evil spell power is a little harder than some of the elemental ones. It is harder to stack those. It is usually easier to stack spell power than ranged power, but because of the differences in dice, I would need over 3 times as much spell power to even it out. So, which is why my filigree are all, well, they're not generally spell power. They would be more ranged power if I could manage it. The sets are ranged power sets, as opposed to like electrocution. But yes. We also need to go to our ingredients bag. Get our hearts. Heart seed. Heart seed. Epic heart of wood. Thank you very much. And now you can gather. Excellent. 24 empty slots means that after we reincarnate, we'll have somewhere to stash our gear, which is good. Alright, we'll start with an epic. We are down to our last 3 epic lives. We do still need our epic heart of wood. All right. Now, which brings us back to the builds. So, Eldritch Knight has a D8, which means that I only need a little bit over 2 times. It's like 2.4-ish, I think? No, it's a little lower than that. As much spell power as range power, which means ban. Well, that was easy. In any case, so because an Eldritch Knight would prefer different filigree and stuff, I don't really want to do that because I don't want to change out my whole like sentient setup. So instead, we're going to look for something that's going to favor ranged power. But for now, we're just doing, well, we're just doing this. We're just recreating the one we currently had, which was full charisma based. We're not going to get any int, just because we're quick leveling this. We will get disable device. We will get, while we're here, we'll get jump. We'll get UMD. We'll get tumble. We'll get one in perform just because. We will get spot. We will get search. We won't get spellcraft right now. Sure, we'll get bluff and balance. Yeah, why not? Doesn't make too big a difference because we're not planning on doing anything, but you know, just in case. Blank shot. There we go. next, create. All right, off we go. Pre-roll on. We shouldn't have pre-roll on. I'm gonna have to go into settings after stream and address that. But this does mean that we can look into maybe doing the fighter. Or inquisitive paladin, perhaps. Alright. UI, layout, load, high res, 10 bar. Thank you. Just gonna take some stuff off so we're not just running around in molasses. I swear. And if any northerners get any ideas, St. Molasses Junction. Excellent. I learned the way. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that you could switch on Lesser Reincarnate. Unless, you know, you can't. In which case, well, shame on me. Disable device and search. Thank you. We want... we'll take Sovereign Host. No, we'll take Bowl. Okay. And moving forward. We will once again take Disable Device and search. We'll take Spot next level just to speed things up a bit. Okay, we want ranged feats. Skill feats, not meta magic feats, ranged feats. There we go. We want rapid reload. And we want luck domain. Because displacement is very good. We'll take charisma, just like before. We will put it all into spot. At least as a cleric, or well, rather as divine caster in general, we don't need to worry about a lot of things. And like learning specific spells on our way back up. Improve Domain of Luck. And back down here to ranged feats, we will take Rapid Shot. Now I could go like Inquisitive Ranger, but that's, you know, that's kind of putting a hat on a hat. It's like, why would you be Inquisitive Ranger? It's like, you're already a Ranger. Why not just go bow at that point? So, we're not going to do Monk, of course, because you can't be centered with crossbows, which is unfortunate, but it's just how things are. Oh, right. I forgot that I had another level of rogue coming up to do my rogue skills. Oh well. This is fine. We still are looking for more ranged feats. We still need precise shot, so we'll take that. We don't get anything for free because, you know, we don't have ranger levels. Of course, we will get more search. There was some rounding there. We should have left that at a half number. I don't know if we lost one or gained one, though. All right, Greater Domain of Luck. Sure, we'll take that. But yes. Charisma. More Disable Device. Ooh, ran out. All right, we'll just pump search from now on. We want not defensive feats, but we want not deity feats. We want martial feats. There we go. I see ranged. And search. And once again, back to disable device. Just leapfrogging back and forth here. I don't even remember what I took here. Like, are there any other ranged feats that I would want? I mean, I might have taken Nimble Fingers. I mean, I could take Quick Draw, but I'm pretty sure I get it elsewhere. Yeah, we'll take Nimble Fingers. Why not? And I could have taken Dodge there. Dodge was another good choice. So we'll take Charisma again. We will once again do Disable Device and search. Cleric feats are getting better. Master Domain of Luck, never fail rolls again, which is always very nice. Alright. So we will disable device, we will search. Excellent. And I feel like I'm missing something major, but I guess not. It probably doesn't matter that much. So we'll just go, any martial feats that I like really should have that I'm missing. Oh, there we go. Precision. Almost missed precision. Like, I know I shouldn't have a floating feat here. And the last one will go into spot. There we go. Charisma. Cap that. Cap that. And the last one should go into a class skill. There we go. One in spellcraft. Excellent. Look at all those rogue trees that I'm not really going to be using. Alright, Dark Apostate, Fey Dark Illusionist, and Inquisitive. Ask questions first. Charisma. We need to make this a favored weapon. Nope, nope, stop that. Boom, shoot later. Charisma. Take that, take that, take that. With this one, and that, and that. And I need to spend 2 more. There we go. Fey Dark Illusionist. I don't need max spell points, I never use them. There we go, there's our 7. We want not Thief Acrobat, but War Priest. Get ranged smite, 1, 2, 3, health, and an imbue die. We'll come in here for Dark Apostate. Get that, get some health, get another imbue. Let's see, heal, hide, and bluff. A little bit of health. No, we can't get any benefit out of that. Boom, boom. There we go. Because that's an imbue die. That's an imbue die. And then we come over here to Assassin. Accept. Where did I put the rest? I I have 5 points left. I'm missing something obvious. It wouldn't have been... Like, I could go in mechanic for... Oh, right. I actually put extra into my tree over here besides my racials from past lives. We get that. We get search and spot. Another imbue die. Which brings us down to 2 action points left, which we can dump into another sneak attack die. Or we can... I think sneak attack die is the best way to go for this. Like, the alternative is, like, getting maybe a little bit of hidden damage here. Hidden damage and universal spell power, which is not amazing. I mean, it's not terrible, but we'll grab the sneak die. Of course. Did we really need to bother paying attention to all that when our main thing is we're just going to turn around right here and we're going to say, hi, I would like to racial reincarnate, please. But before we do this, there we go. We will do this. Okay, you don't think anything's changed, but it has. As soon as my computer decides to stop being mad at me. Okay, so we have a couple options here. We don't really want the Sork at the moment. Now, we can go Fighter. Fighter is a lot better with sustain than it used to be because, well, yeah, it has its like full self-heal thing going on. And of course we get tons of feats, we get tons of power and all. But maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want to go Inquisitive Bard, because we do have our charisma items out. Now, this leveling order is not quite right. We would not take 2 rogue to start with. Our second rogue level would probably be at 9. But you can see that here we go, Inquisitive. This one does go... Oh, wow, this is rough. This one was going int-based. And it tried to squeeze out know the angles for 1 point, but ooh, that is rough. Because it came over here for an extra imbue dice. Let us look at another one. Now, what do we want? Do we want to do something weird? We already did Alchemist. I don't think we've done just straight up Rogue. Let's take a look at our Rogue setup here, which could be interesting. Of course, the main downside of Rogue is that you lose a lot of the utility that you get from being a caster, in that you can't really nuke things. Oh, interesting. The Rogue setup... Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure it's int-based, yeah? Charisma-based? Really? With Rogue? Interesting, because I wanted to come deeper in Arcane Archer. I don't know, man. I don't know past me. That's a lot to give up. It's like a lot to give up. For like, I mean, it's 2 imbue dice. Well, it's 4 imbue dice for 12 points. But, And, you know, we haven't done an Artificer with Inquisitive. We did do Artificer with a repeater, but that's close enough that we don't really want to repeat it. Now, Barbarian is kind of funny. Druid is really weird. So I want to double check what the plan was here, because maybe we just want to get weird with it. So for the Druid, it's probably still going to be 2 Rogue, yes? Yeah, still 2 Rogue. And we're just going to take all of our stuff. We're going to take Reload, we're going to take Rapid Shot, we're going to take Precise Shot, and Precision, and improve critical ranged, improve Precise Shot, and all that. So, but I think we're actually going to do the Rogue way. We will, of course, start with a level of Rogue, and we will then go into Ranger. The thing is, let me just double check on the new archetype. And let's see. Wait. Don't Dark Arc... I swear that this is... Okay, yeah, there we go. So I was thinking maybe going the new archetype, but I use the Arcane Archer tree for some imbue dice, so we're going to not do that. But okay, so we are going to go with the rogue approach and see how that works out for us. Now the other option would be going like 18 row, like, no. I think we're just going to go for our rogue side of things. The question is, of course, the ordering level. So if we come back to the imbue rogue instead of the imbue druid, because the druid one's kind of weird, we're not going to do that one quite yet. Right now, this was just putting my split in. This is not actually a good leveling order. Like, you definitely want the first level in Rogue. The question is at what levels I want the Ranger. Now, one reason to take Ranger stuff early is that it does give you free ranged feats, like Rapid Shot. We're just going to double check that real quick. Because I don't have all of that memorized. I think that's at 2 Ranger? Yeah. You get Rapid Shot at 2, Precise Shot at 4. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do... Let's see what this yells at us. Okay, we're going to do 1 Rogue. We're going to do 2 Ranger. So that'll get us Rapid Shot as a feat, which means at level 3 we'll have Point Blank Shot, Rapid Reload, and Rapid Shot. Then we'll come back for another level in Rogue at 4. And the extra level in Rogue will unlock... what will it unlock for us? It'll get us Evasion, but we don't really care. It will get us the next level up Imbue in Assassin, so that's nice. And then we'll get 2 more levels in Ranger to get ourselves Precise Shot. So at level 6, we will have Precision, Rapid Reload, Rapid Shot, and Precise Shot at 6, which is a good time to have it. And then 5 and 6 aren't that important to us for Ranger. So we will delay them a little bit down to So we don't actually care that much about our class levels because we don't go that deep into any particular tree. So, like, even here, like, one of the reasons we go into Arcane Archer is that we are going to need it for... Actually... we have another reason to... What is it? Alright, so we need here magical training. And magical training is something that we should get as a spellcaster. Now, as a spellcaster, I just need to double check if rangers get this at level 4. I don't think they do. Yeah, so we would need magical training from somewhere in order to come in here. Now, where do we get that? Well, once we're in epics, we get it from our epic destinies. But while leveling, we're going to need it here. So that's just these 3 points have to be over here while leveling once we want to come in here. Which means getting charisma to hit and damage is not just 7 points while leveling, because we need to come here first. It's 11 points, which makes it actually worse than int while leveling. That said, we can make it work. It won't be ideal, of course, but we have other ways to make this work. Now, one downside is that this gives proficiency with great crossbows. This gives proficiency with light repeating crossbows. So if we went full-on rogue first, we could use repeaters at 6. But we don't care that much about it. So Ranger 5 and 6 do not help us that much. So we are going to go back to rogue until, we'll say level 12-ish? Maybe. Well, it gives us a couple more spells, I guess. It doesn't matter that much either way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to split this up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. Boom. We'll maintain a nice cadence of rogue and then 2 ranger and then finish out all of them rogue. Is this the ideal leveling order? Probably not. This build is not very good for leveling, in fact. It's got a lot of stuff that needs to get set up, and it should come online a little bit later on, but for now, it is not. Alright. Where were we? Ah, yes. We were reincarnating. True Heart of Blood. We get Drow Elf 2. Which means we will be Drow again. And we don't have that many XP gems stacked up, so we're going to be pretty weak to start out. No stat to damage. No starting at level 3. Specialist. Rogue. Customize. We are going to be Drow Elf. Our point spread. Actually, let's switch back to this. It does not look that different to you. I mean, actually the green screen changes. But it does make a difference to me because, well, it's doing game capture instead of like full desktop capture, which is both more efficient and less risky of me like putting doxing information somewhere. So, stats. We're going to max charisma. Why are we going to max charisma? Because we're dumb. Int. We're going to get a little bit of int. We're going to get a little bit of strength. we do need a little bit of dex for feats. Yeah. So we're going to need a little bit of dex for feats. Or do we? Because we get some of these feats for free from Ranger. And the other ones are going to take a little bit. Like, we get improved precise shot later, eventually. But yeah, so we're just going to go with 14 con, 12 int, 12 dex, 10 strength. Alright, I'm going to be honest. The extra 2 charisma isn't a deal breaker. I would rather just make things more convenient for myself. It's like, instead of 2 charisma, I get to not worry about wisdom as a casting stat. I get to get a little bit more con. I get a little bit more skill points. Not that, 14 levels of rogue is going to be really short on skill points. And I get to have 14 dex, which means I don't need to worry about, well, any of my feats. So, okay. We have a ton of skill points. Disable device. Bluff. Balance. Diplomacy. We'll grab Intimidate. We'll grab Jump, because we don't have the spell. Or actually, we will have the spell, I think. So there's that at least. We'll get Open Lock. We'll get Search. We'll get Spot. We will get Tumble. We will get UMD. We'll get more UMD. Okay. We're going to take points out of balance. And we're going to put them into... one more into UMD. And do I want balance or swim? I'll get both eventually. All right, that does it for that. And of course, we want to start with point blank shot. Next. We don't want to be lawful good. No, we will be chaotic neutral, I believe. Is that what we had planned? Yes. Chaotic neutral. Why chaotic? Because we want Harbinger of Chaos to give us imbue dice in epics. So, onward. And now, we get to fish all of our gear out of the bank, which is way, way easier than it used to be because you can filter it. If it wants to behave itself.
You find yourself waking on a shore of flotsam. Memories of a large white dragon striking your ship come flooding back.
Here we go. You, come over here.
Ah, you're awake. Oi, you ain't undead, are you?
No, I am not Jeets.
Can you talk?
Skip.
Speak to me.
Sure. Give me the longbow. Not that I have proficiency. Rogues have proficiency with short bows, not longbows.
Yourself in Korthos village. The Sahuagin have threatened this place for generations.
All right.
Judging from how it looks now,
Mount.
the Sahuagin are winning. However, some hopeful souls still hold out for help to arrive.
We're going to head all the way over here, and we're going to go to our guild ship and get guild buffs. They're good later on. They're really good early on, where a little bit of extra health and stuff makes a bigger difference. So off we go. No, stop that. Stop that too. Too many things are asking for my location. Okay, there we go. Alright. Grab buffs and head down to the bank. Yes, I'd like to check my account. We want to grab our experience points out of the bank. Not that I had any good ones here. These are all like, well, there's a 4,000 here, but the others are like a couple hundred each. I would have actually just gotten rid of them if I didn't know I was TRing soon. So we'll grab these out of that bank, these out of this bank. And then we're just going to go for, show me the level 1 to level 5 gear. Thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna move some of this stuff out. Actually, we're just gonna ditch it entirely. We don't need this stuff. As long as we reach level 2, we're fine. So we're just gonna move some of this stuff out of the way while we retrieve our stuff that always stays in our bags, which is our bags. Gibbers. The other bag. Come on. Put on our cloak. Alright. Bag. We will not be wearing the Crown of Snow this time. We will not need the Ring of Spring Storms this time. We will take that bag. We will take these. We're going to put those over here. And let's see, we're just going to grab the things that we know we're going to use. Tapestry pouch, no. Other ring, Nyx orb, no. Aegis, no. Alright, we will take our thieves' tools. We will leave that here. We will take this just for the Mythic and Reaper boosts, because they're really handy early on. We will take... Sure, we'll take Conjured Bolts. Why not? Ring of Elemental Essence we don't need. Oh, there we go. Augment bag. I knew I was missing a bag. We'll take that. We'll take our Harper pin. The small augment bag can stay here. Quiver of Alacrity, very, very important. We will take our Nocturne ring. Our Necklace of Bottled Sunlight. Yep, these are all good. We probably will not wear the leaf mail, but we'll take it out of storage anyway. Skullduggery cap, very important. Death Ward, clicky. Goggles of Unbroken Sight. Likewise, very important. You can wear those immediately. Acrobat's Ring. Summer's Heat, we don't need. Bulwark Helm, wear immediately. Dead Ringers, we don't really care, so we'll probably grab a different one. We will grab this one for later. We will grab the cloak. We will grab the Dire Bear belt. All the level 5 stuff, we're pretty much just going to throw in the bank for now. So that goes in the bank, this goes in the bank, this goes in the bank, that goes in the bank. Basically all the Feywild gear goes in the bank, so I can pull it out when we hit level 5, but you know, we don't need to pull it out yet. Runic Trinket. I can't cast any spells at all, so we actually don't care. We'll pull another one of these out, and this is just going to be the gear that we wear for a level or 2. Well, hopefully not for too much longer than that. All right, but we do have guidance, level 2. Grab this. We'll grab our red robes, which have Mythic and Reaper on them. So although they are robes, they give decent defenses. We will not be wearing the green Dragon's Gale bracers this life because we will be wearing Cold Iron instead. Let's see, we will put this on, we will put this on, we will not put that on yet. Essentially, my level 1 gear is all Borderlands stuff that has Mythic on it. That's just kind of how that goes. Now, what I don't have at the moment is I don't think that I pulled out some of my more... Oh wait, did I not get the Skullduggery cap out? There we go. I do not think that I managed to retrieve everything that I should have. Most notably... here, we're going to grab the Gloves of Tranquility. That's definitely something we want. Most notably, I don't have the ethereal ring or trinket pulled out because it wasn't an issue for past lives. They had other ways of getting ways to hit Reapers and such that this build will not have. But that is not going to be too big a deal. We'll have it by the time we hit level 5. But it is time to use our gems. Which should be enough to get us to level 2. I think. If not, then we can run around a little bit and do some quests. I mean, we're going to do the level 1 quests anyway. But, you know. So yes, I am deliberately using all the small ones first. Yeah, we'll just use all of them. Alright, we got up to rank 6, which is not amazing, but it is good enough for now. So, as for enhancements, we've got a lot of opportunities here. So, do we want to start with Inquisitive right away? And I'm going to say yes, because it is better than some other options. Now, that's 5 points remaining. We have 8 racial points. Now, later on, these points aren't as good, but 9 to hit and damage against things like spiders and scorpions. Well, there's a lot of spiders and scorpions in the first couple levels, so that's actually quite strong. And we're going to get that, and we can... Now, we can just do convenience and go for auto search here. We don't have quite enough points for it, though. Like, yeah, we have auto search at a -8 penalty, and I don't think that's quite worth it for us. But, you know, you never know. Maybe it's good enough. And by maybe, I mean no, it isn't. But there's not a whole lot of other compelling stuff in this tree for us to try to grab. Like, rapier, short swords, and shuriken? No. Like, stats would be good, but we can't get these yet. And, yeah, so we're just going to do it like that. We're going to go take level 2. As per our thing that we already talked about, level 2 is going to be Ranger. So take us to Harbor. We're going to go and get our level 2 Ranger, and then we're going to make our way to Korthos after we put on our level 2 gear. Saltmarsh open to level 1s. That's certainly a choice. I wouldn't be particularly helpful in R2 Saltmarsh. We're going to go Standard Ranger, not the new archetype, because we want to actually have Arcane Archer stuff. So we're going to get Search, we're going to get Spot, which are still class skills for Ranger. So even though we're cross-classing, we're not losing out on that. We will get jump. We will get swim. What else is not cross-class for us? We can get like move silently and stuff, but it does not matter. So we'll just grab heal. A little bit of self-healing never hurt anyone. And class feat. Oh, what do we want for favorite enemies? Like, I would get undead, but it's easy to get undead elsewhere. Elemental? Yeah, elemental's a good one. It doesn't help us yet, but they're really annoying later. And we're obviously going to get construct as well. But okay, that's level 2, which means... Alright, first of all, I can get rid of that. We can put on Billow's Ring. Get some false life going. We can't put on the Acrobat Ring yet. We can put on Guidance, which has Ghostbane, which is good. I forgot that I had that. We have Conjured Bolts, so that's not going to be an issue for the moment. We have Featherfall Swap already available to us. The Stoneforge Gauntlets we can't wear yet because they are level 3. That's level 3, that's level 3. These are all on. So we have stuff in every slot except Trinket and Belt, which I think is good enough. So Korthos is not exactly hard, but among other things, it's Coin Lord's rep, and we like our inventory space. So plus, it's not like it takes that long. Of course, we are going to cheat in that we are going to get a hireling. Mostly for the Defending the Crystal quest, because I don't have attack speed yet, really. And sometimes guys will run by and they only need to hit the crystal like twice and it dies, so. Yep, we're going to go in on Elite. We're going to pull out a bunch of stuff. Feats. We want colors. Colors is stronger than double shot at this level. We'll switch to double shot later. We will take Grace. We will take Enchant Weapon. We will take Fortification. Though we will have Skill Mastery out here if we want to swap to it. And we'll take the Shadar-kai Stance. And that's all for that. But we also have enhancements to take out, which is Law on our side. So that will always be on. And of course, we paid for the hireling, so he's going to come out and fight for us.
Coming from deep in the crypt, you hear the strange and unsettling strange. Sarcophagi, you found some kind of secret door in the wall. Once you open it, you can reach a treasure chest glimmers in the dark passage here. There's a Sahuagin in here, performing some kind of ritual.
Come, dead son of Korthos, rise and do...
The Sahuagin, where you a magical crest appears from the destroyed altar.
Man, that attack speed, it is rough at low levels. It's like, dink. No, part of that is that I don't have rapid reload or rapid shot yet. I will get both of them next level. So, level 2 is going to be annoying. Level 3 is going to be a huge step up.
Perhaps the cultists brought it here, but it's yours. There's another crest drops out as you smash the altar. There might still be other altars elsewhere in this crypt.
So we're gonna do whatever we can, and of course we're going to let our hireling handle the rest. The question is it worth the time to disarm the trap? I'm gonna say maybe.
There's something odd on the wall. Possibly you found acid sprays out of the wall as you've disconnected the trap's
Like it probably isn't, but I'm gonna do it just. I was gonna say out of spite, but that's not really accurate. It's as a matter of principle. Like I'm playing predominantly rogue. I'm going to do the traps.
In the middle of this chamber is an evil... When the altar collapses, a third crest appears. It glows with cold magic.
Alright. So how many have I killed versus him? I've gotten more than him. Go figure. But yes. It's... Inquisitive is going to be rough.
Barrier blocks the way, and behind you fit the last crest in place, and the magic shield dissipates. The Sahuagin inside spits out in a venomous voice. These fools, the last devourer altar shatters.
Well,
your bold actions saved.
and we do not care about loot at all. There is nothing useful to loot here.
The treasure chest in the antechamber is now yours.
But yeah, the XP in here is terrible. The other parts of Korthos aren't as bad, but the XP in that particular quest is pretty bad. Yeah.
Some of the braver villagers
Now,
tried
I
to
often
stem
wouldn't
the
bother
Sahuagin
turning quests
tide,
in for
but
stuff
their
like that.
courage led to
However,
naught but grievous injuries. Korthos needs someone with
you
more
actually
than
need to
just
turn these in
guts.
order to unlock the next ones in the chains. So we're gonna get our hireling back out just because we are not great at this level. And, you know, someone needs to attack stuff because I'm not.
This appears to be the main storeroom. It seems the villagers have been preparing for a protracted siege. A large silver
There we go.
Sahuagin emerges
Fun
from a
fact.
hidden passage.
If you don't care about loot, you don't need to kill that guy.
The scrolls fall into devouring.
The red name who pops out. You can just ignore him.
Door swings open. It appears that the floor in this room can be moved and rotated.
Alright, camera's not behaving for me, but this is fine.
The protective spell dissipates. All that remains now is to take and deliver the scroll.
Come here, you. There we go. That one's less bad for XP. But this is just a little bit to get started. Just so we're not quite so low when we want to get to actual hard stuff. And, okay, so it's not really that hard of stuff, let's be honest. But I do want to have, like, rapid shot and rapid reload before I head into Reaper. Plus, as we mentioned, bag space. Gotta have some bag space.
Ahead is the cellar where the Cannith crystal is
Let's
hidden.
move this bar down here.
You can feel the life-saving heat emanating from the magic crystal Boldar spoke of.
Okay,
But from the shadows
now
approach those who would doom
we get to try to
Korthos
kill
with
things
destroy
before they get to the crystal. We already set our hireling on aggressive. And we don't have precise shot or anything, so it's not like we're building up stacks. So we can move if we want. Okay. The main problem here is going to be if something runs like straight towards me, or like slightly at an angle, so my shots just straight up miss. And then they get to do that and get like a hit or two on the crystal. And it doesn't take many hits from them.
shatters the crystal with a well-aimed blow. Korthos is
As I am talking about it, it happens. It's just like, hi, I popped out of stealth and hit the crystal twice and it died. That's why this quest can be a little annoying. All right, let's try that again. And maybe I will pay a little bit more attention. The funny thing is, I would have expected that I could have seen them more easily, given that I should have sufficient spot.
Ahead is the cellar where the Cannith crystal is hidden.
But, nope. Wasn't paying attention.
Feel the life-saving heat
And
emanating
they
from
got
the
like
magic
2 or 3 hits on it.
Boldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Korthos by destroying it.
So the thing is, I don't know if it's best for me to stand here, like in the way, or if it'd be better for me to stand a little bit further so I have a better angle to shoot them from. But yeah, it's a little odd. Okay. Like, I know I told you to hold position, but you should be on aggressive. He should still leave that position in order to attack things. It appears that he is not. Yep, about to lose. All right. Okay, good. He's back with the program. The program being defined as, well, killing things. Okay, good. We like this program. I'm debating if I should try to intimidate things. Oh, that's right. I can't cast shield. Oh, good. He came for me, not for the crystal. Excellent. The last guy always spawns out here, so we're done with the actual risky part of defending the crystal, where like one can slip by and just ruin your day. Hello. Would you like to spawn for me, please? Thank you. So, the XP on that isn't that great, but, you know.
Hero. It is on the
Now we get to
people's
see the
lips
collaborator.
as you walk by. Cautious looks have become friendly nods. Then word
The
comes
collaborator
that
is a
presence
little
requested
better
in the tavern.
in that regard. Come on out.
Your waiting bears fruit. This must be the collaborator stepping in from the dark.
I'm surprised I'm actually hitting for that much, is the weird thing. Because I don't have any stat to hit on right now. Like, I don't have int to hit, int to damage, none of it. Like, I'm trying to think where my damage is coming from on my weapon. So, I have 1 range or past life, so that's 2 damage. I have 1 monk past life, which I believe is 1 damage. I have 3 damage here from enchant weapon. Yeah, so that's +9.
Notice a small chest hidden behind the bar.
The weapon itself says it's +5, so that's with the enchantment. So +9, that's... I don't know where one of them is coming from. 2 from ranger, 1 from monk, 1 from something else.
You have weathered the Southwargan storm. Now,
But off we go.
Treacherous Jacoby Drexelhand isn't here. The chamber beyond the secret passage.
Alright, well, I wasn't expecting it to work, but I guess Korthos DCs are not exactly challenging. Let's see if I can turn this before they get to me. Okay, fine. I tried to go faster and it slowed me down. As is often the case. Sometimes the shortcuts work, sometimes they don't.
finish the job.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. I'm doing an extra D8 when he's that close because, you know, point blank shot. So yeah, it's not amazing, and it's a little awkward because of how the attack speed is at low levels, but it's going to get a lot better next level, and it's still pretty decent. We'll take the discarded ring, sure.
Your victories have made the village much safer, but only temporarily. It's time to take the fight to the Sahuagin, out in the wilds of Korthos Island.
Close that. How are we doing? Let's see. 40% CPU, third of the GPU. Almost no memory, but then again, I'm not pushing the memory as hard as I would have been otherwise anyway, because, well, I just reinstalled it, so it's not like I've had the PC running this whole time. So this is 2 points for 1 imbue die. How are we doing on we have 600 left. Yeah, we're just gonna have to put a point into summoning bolts. It's unfortunate, but hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, we're just gonna accept that. Like, just leave that as it is. Next point, we'll get another imbue die. We're gonna get him out here, because if we get him out here, he will stay with us for this whole section. Oh, 19 damage. That's a lot of damage at this level. Especially since I didn't get anything to heal myself with. But it's fine. We'll make it work.
The air grows damp and fetid as the ancient tunnel descends.
There we go. We're going to take the left path because we want to disarm the traps.
The tunnel splits here. Which way to the giantish device?
Which way to the giantish device, indeed. The answer is both of them. They both lead to the exact same room.
The sound of distant snoring warns you that you are not alone here. If you're careful, you may be able to take the sleeping guards by surprise.
Just kiting. Kiting all the things. Oh well, at least none of them know Black Dragon Bolt. See, I tried to skip ahead to this last live because I didn't remember that you can't actually do this step until you kill all of them. So you can't just run by. So I was like, I'm going to run by, I'm just going to pull this lever, I'll clean them up later. And it's like, no, you can't actually do that because the quest won't let you. So. And we're off.
You spot a rusty hatch submerged in the putrid water.
Now, fortunately, these like Korthos quests are pretty easy as far as like number of mobs that are together. Because it's all like groups of like 1 to 3. Now, when we get to the harbor and all the kobolds and stuff, this will be different. Because kobolds can come in packs of like 8. And that's where the downside of being ranged and not caster really starts to take effect. Because, well, don't have AoE.
With the right timing, you can get close enough to redirect them. The mist solidifies into ice over the ancient creature, but it's not enough. You need both jets to affect a thing of this size.
And we're done.
Ice forms over the ancient
So yeah,
guaranteeing
2700, a little under 3 minutes.
is safe.
So this is why I say that Korthos quests aren't really that bad for XP on level. Well, most of them aren't.
Steam
Some of them
from a
are.
hidden entrance to an underground complex.
Come on. Let me mount up. There we go. And I don't know if everyone else does the same order. This is the order I do things in. I drop down and then I can come over here to the manufactory. There might be a more ideal way to do it, but this works for me. Especially since you can recall out after the last one. Actually, this is very odd. Why is there snow?
A mangled sewer grate leads to an old
I
abandoned
skipped
Cannith
the storyline. I've been to the harbor. Why is there snow?
Enter one of the laboratories.
I should be in sunny Korthos.
The doorway ahead has been boarded up. Oddly, the work looks very recent.
In any case, maybe the island doesn't change and it's just the town. And I just never noticed. Oh, okay. I am no longer able to auto-search at my -8 penalty. Okay, maybe I am sometimes able to auto-search at my -8 penalty. Wait, I got a double shot? I didn't think I had any double shot % chance. Is there like a default, like 5%? I have 2% double shot. Must have it on one of my items.
A magical barrier coming with compressed energy.
But you know, at 2%, it is not to be relied upon. I'm barely even hitting these guys.
On the other side of this locked gate,
And yes,
see a familiar sight.
you don't actually need to go in there and turn the valve if you can lockpick.
Jets of some alchemical.
You know, or knock. Any way of undoing that locked door.
You hear a definite
Which is why Korthos is good for as an introduction for just a lot of stuff. Like, obviously the quests have aged, but they're still actually a really good introductory experience to all the different things, which makes them a little bit, we'll say, unfriendly to a newcomer because they introduce a lot of different stuff. But at the same time, you kind of need to introduce that stuff at some point. So that's just how things are going to go sometimes.
Oh no, the Sawagan found me.
Suddenly the air shimmers with devour.
Unfortunately, unlike last life, I can't just spam heals just in case on this.
It'll take more than that to put me down, Sawagan.
I need to actually make sure they die.
Sawagan are still blocking our escape. Watch for more attacks.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we don't have anything else to do. The barrier is up, which I guess is what he means by him blocking our escape. I wonder if they could have done this like a siege. Or is this only like a short-term barrier while their troops attack? Because I'm trying to think if just like... if they could instead like have all these guys like, I don't know, meditate or concentrate on the barrier, could they just like starve us out in here? Instead of just sending wave after wave of their own men after us. It's like, wait, how am I dealing extra damage? It's like, oh right, I have sneak attack dice.
Won't stop until you're dead.
I think that's what it is. Which is nice. For some reason I thought rogues didn't get sneak dice until level 2. But maybe it's 1 at level 1 and then every 2 levels?
Your shield is weak enough. We might actually
Let's just double check.
Just hold for a little longer.
It does say I sneak attack them for a certain amount of damage.
The Swahagan magic is gone.
Okay.
We beat them
But just in case, let's take Conjure Bolts out.
After surviving this latest attack. Perhaps you should talk to him
Go
again.
now. Tell Ursa to hold the barricade
All right.
just a little longer.
2 down,
Meet a
2 to
mountain
go.
At the base of Misery's Peak when you're ready.
With Hayton finally persuaded to help, the people of
And yeah.
Porthos might finally win their struggle.
We are planning on doing all the level 1s. Like, I skipped so much last live because I joined a really fast harbor group.
Leads to an old abandoned Cannith.
And it's just like, yeah, we kept going and I was under level, but I was contributing. I wouldn't say I was carrying, but I was contributing. And, yeah. Young Ice Method, we'll ignore. Now, unfortunately, I cannot do this quest the same way on this life as I could on some others. Especially because of, like, stuff like bats and all are really a pain to hit when you're on a ranged character. So, we're gonna hope that our hireling takes care of those for us. And we're also gonna be having an annoying time with things like skeletons.
Could it be holding Drusen?
Now, on the plus side, we do have Undead Bane on our weapon, so we lose a bunch of damage from it being, well, undead and them having damage reduction against piercing. But we get a little bit of extra damage on them for them being undead, so it kind of evens out. Not completely, but... Alright, see if we can pull this lever. Okay. Yeah. And we don't need to clean up all of those. We can let the hireling clean them up for us, which is nice. Then we have to clean up, I think this is like 4 zombies or so. Another double shot. We got a second one. Ah, double shot. My 2% double shot's really coming in handy. Meanwhile, the hireling is cleaning up because, well, that's what his job is. I'm going to kill things that need killing. And I'm going to let the hireling handle the rest. Jackery Drexelhand has a ridiculous amount of health for a quest at this level. Like, look at this. Dude's probably got like 500 health. But it's okay.
You take the cell key from his remains.
Now, we could pick the lock and grab that chest. Unfortunately, there's nothing I need from that chest. Now, if you don't know how to do a bunch of stuff and have access to a bunch of resources, there is, I believe there are 2 items that can drop from that chest. One of them is something that gives use magical device, and another one is actually a shield clicky. So if like you don't have the UMD to get wands out of the marketplace for shield, there is, I believe it's a set of gloves with 1 charge of shield on them, which isn't great because, you know, only lasts 5 minutes, but it's better than not having it. Because, you know, someone might hit you from behind with magic missiles and knock you off your mount. Oh, come on now.
This entrance
There we
leads
go.
down into an ancient Cannith aqueduct.
And of course, we're not going to do any of the optional stuff in here. Because there's a lot of optional stuff in here. Well, compared to other stuff, at least.
Resilient spider webs block your path. They don't look capable of
Now, as far as spiders go, we can actually hit pretty hard because we took the drow enhancement, so we should have +9 to hit and damage against spiders. You hit 3 clickies with 3 shield each. Very handy. If I can't cast it, I usually just count on buying wands. But not always an option. Also, good evening. We'll just kill this guy on principle. This guy can actually mess you up if you don't have much health and he lands that acid dot on you. It can actually hurt a lot. I didn't actually know there was an NPC on the ship that sold random level 1 clickies. That's interesting to know. Is there anything else good from him, or is it just like, well, yeah, he's got shield and the other stuff doesn't matter?
You have reached the Devourer's sanctum. From ahead you hear a woman's plaintive cry.
Alright, let's see if she's down this way. Yep, there she is. Yeah, see? This guy was like a boss in a quest at the same level, and he only had like 150 health. Oh, interesting. I'm trying to think what other level 1 spells are useful. Like, there's Long Strider, Expeditious Retreat, and Jump. Like, all the movement-based ones are pretty solid.
This entrance leads down into an ancient Cannith aqueduct.
Alright, that's all for Korthos because Misery's Peak has relatively large groups, and we have no AoE, so we're just not going to do Misery's Peak. We will instead head to Borderlands, which is, again, not amazing as a ranged character because it's a lot of like small cramped spaces, and it has somewhat larger group sizes, but we can do it. Oh, that's right. Protection from Evil. I don't usually think about that one that much at low level, because it, like, the spells it protects against, like, what would hit you with, what would you get hit with at this level? Command, maybe? That's the only one I can think of. Shipbroker is random. Oh, interesting. So it's not like you can keep talking to him to randomize it. It's just like on server reset. Good to know. Alright. We're going to get another imbue dice. And then where to go next? Alright, let's open up the other ones we want. We will want Fey Dark. We will not want Thief Acrobat, but we will want Arcane Archer. And we will want something else. We will want Assassin. I mean, we can just keep stacking points in here for now, really. But we will also want Deepwood Stalker. Oh, that's interesting. That seems like a lot of effort for what you would get out of it, but yeah, sure, we'll get 5 more meters on a point-blank shot. Plus a sneak attack die. Not that we do a lot of sneak attacking, but off we go. But you know what? That's a good plan too. I've been known to toss like random stuff in the guild chest from time to time. It's usually like low-level Vorpals or other stuff like that. But so what we're doing here is I'm just going to run around and maybe grab some tokens from rares. Because what I want to do, I'm just going to get a little bit of XP so I can hit level 3 before I go into the Reapers. Do I need to? Probably not. But I'm going to do it anyway. Just, you know, to sate a bit of paranoia. Because especially at these levels, like, just a random famine or a bad spawn where there's a Carnage Reaper close to you can really kind of ruin your day. So getting that level 3, which will give me both rapid reload and rapid shot, is just going to make the whole play experience that much nicer. It just makes the inquisitive like attack animation and everything feel way less awkward when it's not quite so slow. You know, this would be easier if the rare spawns were up, but sometimes you don't get them. It's okay. By the time I make one lap, I should get 2k XP anyway. Because there will be some rare spawns up, and even if none of them spawned, I can still force spawn the one with the crests. So if you didn't know the a good path to do rares here, this is the one I use. There is another way to do it that makes it a little easier. That works if you have a dimension door, but of course, we are level 2. We do not have dimension door. Alright, this rare spawn is also not here, but we did get the crest. Yep, we're just gonna run backwards while we take these out. We get a little bit of pseudo AoE from the fact that we don't have precise shot. And when you don't have precise shot, your attacks aren't really, you know, reserved for the guy you're attacking. They'll go through other stuff to get to them. But this means that if you don't have precise shot, and you have something like a repeater or inquisitive, where you shoot multiple bolts, and the first bolt kills them, if you have precise shot, the others no longer have a target and they just kind of disappear. If you don't have precise shot, they will continue on and hit the thing behind them. So if you are strong enough, you can actually have a damage loss by taking precise shot, because you're not getting your like extra shoot through when the first shot is like a crit that kills something. It's not that big a deal, obviously, especially if you go into situations where it's like, well, I can stack Archer's focus stacks, so I mean, it's not really that big a deal. But it's just an interesting way that the mechanics work out. It's like, well, this thing that's supposedly better can actually hurt you in certain circumstances. But we're not too concerned. Down here. Yep, there we go. That's the level we wanted. So we're just going to finish our lap. Satyr is not up. Of course, it is a Monday, so it'd be a rather odd day to have a satyr. But sometimes you just take what you can and do things out of schedule. Now, of course, one option would be for me to not take level 3 and count on the fire affinity buff to carry me through. Of course, unfortunately, that buff will go away after one dungeon, but you can take it into the dungeon. Just only one of them. You. Like that. Thank you. If I bring up the map, I don't want a tiny, tiny thing in the corner. I already have a tiny thing in the corner. So here we go. We're just going to kill things on the way. It's interesting how some things are immune to their element and some are immune to like the opposite element. Like fire beetles, it's like, oh, I should use frost on them. No, they are immune to frost. Really? What about fire elementals? Oh, no, those are hurt extra by frost. Okay. So, do you hit them with opposite elements? I mean, at least there's nothing that I know of which really would throw a wrench in the works. That's going to be like, well, actually, this fire creature takes extra damage from fire. Like, what? That would be ridiculous. Fortunately, that is not the case for anything that I know of. So, this run back is where this route gets slower than the Dimension Door route. The Dimension Door route, you would de-door at the Harpy, and then you would go out from the entrance to do the crests, and then go Scarecrow and be dude. So.
You get an uneasy feeling as you approach this ancient altar.
Here we go. And let's see how many of these other dudes are up. See, that was a good example. I had 2 bolts, and one of them killed the wolf, and then one of them killed the raider that popped off of the wolf. Because normally when you kill one, the next one spawns. Also that, like, those blights are hurt extra by fire, but there are blights in Ravenloft that are resistant to fire. So, which doesn't make much sense. At least the scarecrows are uniformly hurt extra by fire.
A small hermit's hut stands here, surrounded by well-tended beehives. The place looks like it's still inhabited,
All right.
even though the caves of chaos are just over the hill.
Okay. So we got enough to take level 3 plus an extra half a rank. Not bad. Now we should be get a little bit smoother of a gameplay experience. Now that we, well, we're gonna increase both our firing speed and our reload speed by a substantial amount. Level 3 is Ranger. Hello. We want jump, search, spot, swim, heal. Any other skills that are good for us? Concentration, maybe? We'll take concentration. Just for, self-healing in emergencies. And we will take, down here in ranged feats. No, that's martial feats. We will take rapid reload. See, we got rapid shot. There we go. Rapid shot and rapid reload. No more points, though, I think. We'd spent all of them. Yes? Yes. And off we go. And we're off. I like to start with the... How did I not get that Explorer point before? In any case, I like to start with the Minotaur in the treasure cave. This is, of course, a little annoying because there are things like the bats. And as we mentioned, they have tiny hitboxes, and they like do that thing where they move through you. So they're a bit of a pain on a ranged character, so I might just leave them up to the hireling and apply my talents elsewhere. But how much space do we have? 82. More than enough. More than enough.
Small, squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls. These must be the caves of chaos.
Of course, we are stepping into R1. You know what? We'll put it up as a public group. But epic. Yeah, that's close enough. I'm sure that there's similar power. It's like when you said right behind me, at first I thought like in the wilderness area before I realized like, wait, no, that's an instanced area. That's not how that works in DDO.
There's now only one way to go. Forward. That's fine with you, as this cave is said to contain much treasure. A burly minotaur stands behind a magical barrier, guarding a pile of treasure. Always.
That's a Fear Reaper.
Always.
Hello, Fear Reaper. Goodbye, Fear Reaper. That's a lot of bats. And that's a Famine Reaper. And I don't have... Yep. It's like, and I don't have a shield thing. I went into Reaper without a shield thing, and I got punished for it. I mean, not too badly punished now. Why are you just running? Attack them. Can you attack them, please? You're set on offensive. My hireling has decided to not do his job. I will have to dock his pay. He's not even defending himself. They're attacking him, and he's just like... It's cool. I will turn the other cheek. I'm going to blame him being a warforged. He saw too much in the last war, and he's just apparently taken an oath of non-violence. Of course, I only take an oath of non-violence at Indian restaurants, where all the non must be destroyed. All of it. Devoured, you might say. So yeah, since I don't think y'all were here earlier, the hardware test part of the stream title is that one of the reasons that I'd kind of slowed down on the streaming and such is that I was having issues where my stream kept dropping because, like, and I eventually looked into what was going on in, like, the event viewer in Windows. Yeah, basically the AoE on this build is going to be improved precise shot. That's all it is. It's a rogue and ranger build. It's not like the past inquisitive builds I've had that were like caster based. This is just going to be, it's like, line it up and or let other people AoE and I will pop no holds barred and nuke bosses. That is another perfectly valid way. It's like, where's your AoE? I don't have it. I'm going to let that be someone else's problem. But yeah, so what was happening was, according to the event viewer, my network card was not responding and had to, like, the driver had to restart it or restart itself. The problem is, I got a new network card because of this. It's like, oh, there's something wrong with the network card. I'll get a new one. And so I did. And the problem kept happening. So I changed the config. So now I have both the discrete network card and the onboard network card basically mapped together as one card. like it's kind of one virtual network card that has like redundancy, and it was still happening. And what I eventually noticed is that I was getting network drops when I got up to 100% RAM usage. So I'm going to blame this on Windows itself. Like when it started running out of RAM, apparently the thing that it decided was low priority and was not going to get RAM anymore was the network driver, and it just killed the network driver. It's like, oh, you ran out of RAM? Well, this is going to go unresponsive, and then it's going to hit its safeguards and reset. So I downloaded more RAM, by which I mean I went to Amazon and I got more RAM. So before, I had 16 gigs of RAM. I got a 64 kit, so now I have 80. So it's a relatively large upgrade, going from 16 to 80 gigs of RAM. And we will see if it fixes it. But at the very least, if it doesn't fix it, well, now I have 80 gigs of RAM. So I might still have a network issue, but I'll have better performance elsewhere. Oh look, I still don't have a shield wand. We're just gonna... What is... How did you get here? Did you spawn when they died? More RAM. And nowadays 16 gigs is not exactly a lot. So hopefully I've managed to resolve any like related performance issues. Like if you're running out of RAM and all, then sometimes that has knock-on effects on the CPU. Like, oh, well, I've got to spend time doing page file swaps and all sorts of nonsense. But now I can just be like, you know what? Not a problem. My usage right now, let's take a look since I had that pulled up. It says I'm using 17% of my memory right now. And about 30% of GPU and about 45% of CPU. So, not too bad. Which is, I'm a little surprised by the CPU usage, though not completely. Especially given that I have OBS set to use GPU encoding. So the stream encoding is weighing on the graphics card, not on the CPU. And I mean, part of that is DDO's a pretty old game, and it's not exactly graphics intensive, which is why I set that up that way in the first place. It's like, you know what? DDO's not using the GPU. I might as well use it for the stream encoding. Made sense to me at the time. And by at the time, I mean, it still does. Of course, if I wanted to test this a little harder, I would pick a, we'll say, more modern game and see if I can reproduce the network issue. But for now, got my TR on, as opposed to getting my tiara on. It's a difference of having like 1A, but it's a little different. And yeah, that should be enough kills. There we go. Take these down, take these down. I'm still surprised that this is going as smoothly as it is when I don't have any stat to hit and damage. Oh. Interesting. Alright. So let's check something. I don't have any dropped frames, and I don't have the and my bitrate's not down. So I think that was server lag, not me lag. Which is of course a trick was trying to do this with DDO. It's like, wait, it's lagging. Am I having a network issue? Or is DDO, well, being DDO? Who knows? Tune in next week to find out.
Grinding gears can be heard once again as a gate opens somewhere in the cave.
Oh, interesting. I can always check the Windows Event Viewer later, but generally what would happen if it reset is I would lose full connectivity for like 20-30 seconds and the stream would drop. Like full on, well, it wouldn't drop as much since I changed a setting that like if the stream goes down, don't actually end stream, like wait for a minute. Because that's actually a setting you can tell Twitch to do. It's just like, look, if it goes down,
Most of the kobolds struggle to defend their cave at the side of you, while one of them
like, don't actually disconnect it. Because what was happening before I changed that setting was that basically the stream would drop and it would treat it like a whole new stream, like it would reset the duration and everything. Whereas with the setting on, what would happen is you would get a screen that's just the not like this meme dude until OBS reconnected in another like 30 seconds. Okay, Famine Reaper and Fear Reaper.
You've made a deal with the tribe. Strike down their leader to gain their support.
So I'll have to check later if I did have a disconnect there. Exploring through the caves. Normally the quest isn't complete until you come in here, but if you pick the lock and come in early, it should complete when I kill Leader Kobold over here. It's like, what's doing ice damage? I'm not doing ice damage. And it's like, oh right, Hireling is doing ice damage. Yep, there we go. As expected, it finishes on his death. And I'm not going to go bother getting the Charm of Evil Chaos. Like, I would do that if I were trying to go for full completion, but not really a thing. Yeah, how are we doing? Yeah, only one more rank. These don't give a ton of XP, but then again, they don't take a lot of time either. Just a good warm-up before heading to Harbor.
You enter the caves, determined to eliminate another threat to the residents of the keep.
Alright, where's the Hezru? I haven't seen one spawn yet. We're about due.
As the last goblin dies, you notice something.
Now this is one where I wish I had AoE, because there's that pack at the end of the hallway that's like 6 dudes.
Does not look pickable. The guardroom door opens with the squeal of metal on metal, rousing the guard.
Just around this corner, it's all like, hi! There's a bunch of us. And there's a bunch more around this corner here that I'm about to end. Yep. Oh, and I have rat aggro from when I walked by that other thing. This is fine. Fortunately, Milf's Acid Arrow didn't get super buffed like the, what is it? What is the acid dot that has like dragon in its name, the higher level one? It was buffed in the last patch, and they managed to bug it such that not only was the player version buffed, but the mob version got buffed. I mean, if you wanted a barbarian past life, you could just go full two-hander Unga Bunga, and that's, and between strike through and cleaves, you should have plenty of AoE. But that said, I have heard good things about chains. Oh, there's a second Fear Reaper behind me. Okay. That is not what I expected to happen. 4 stacks.
The door swings open and well-oiled hinges. Starting
So I was looking into maybe doing a Shader Kai
you hear
that's
the
like
sounds of
supposed to be like raid DPS,
chamber ahead.
because I was thinking of trying to take the imbue they have that's like a D12 cold damage,
A magical barrier
but it only applies on sneak attack.
Perhaps the magical runes on the wall are the key to opening.
What? That totally didn't show me the first one. It doesn't scale into epics? That's interesting. I think you could get more, like, on-hit proc damage on it, maybe? Like, I think, or at least I heard, that Primal Mantle is actually getting pretty popular for a lot of melee just because you can proc it so much and it does so much damage. Oh, okay, you were going for that build, like a swash build. I've always meant to do one of those, but I've just never gotten around to it since I just don't favor melee that much. But I was thinking of doing a dual-wield Shader Kai using the imbue, which wouldn't be great solo because the imbue only works when you're sneak attacking. But having a D12 imbue could be pretty nice. And I believe with that build, because it would be a largely rogue build, if I wasn't sneak attacking, I could just use the assassin poison imbue, which has its own problem with immune mobs. Oh, I'm talking like way in the future. I'm going to be inquisitive for at least another like 2-3 lives. Like, I'm trying to do a bunch of different classes as inquisitive. Like, Ranger Rogue is kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but I also want to try to do like a Druid Inquisitive build, just to like see if I can. Like, I did Dark Apostate last life, and the initial plan was that I was going to, well, build spell power, because spell power is usually easier to stack. Unfortunately, that one stacks with evil spell power. And there is a lot of stuff in, like, enhancement trees that doesn't say alignment spell power. It says light spell power. So I didn't know if it would actually give me evil spell power or not. And the other problem is that that imbue is D6s. So I did some math, and I found out that in order for D6s to break even with the raw, it should. There's all sorts of things that should. But I know there are cases where something that says light gives light, and something that says alignment gives light and others. But I did the math on it anyway, that even if I could stack it, that I have Inquisitive, which stacks with 200% range power and is a D10. And I had the Dark Apostate imbue, which scales with evil spell power and is a D6. And I did the math, and you need over 3 times as much spell power as you do ranged power in order to break even. And in a gear set that I still wanted stuff like double shot and all on, I could get maybe 2.5 times, but not like the over 3 times. It was like 3.2 times as much spell power would be needed. So it's like, well, with my stacks up, I'm at like 250 ranged power or however much I was at. It's like, so I would need like 800 evil spell power. Now, 800 like lightning spell power or fire spell power or frost spell power is relatively easy because you have the filigree sets that, you know, you get a couple of them and they give you 50 spell power and all that. But evil doesn't have one of those. That's just low-hanging fruit. So I couldn't make it work out. Actually, let me look up the what my stats were at for that.
The Outlanders seem to reconsider. But you have something that will convince them. You hold up Grave Maw's bloody ring and reveal that you found it in the Chief's shrine. Chief said Grave Maw joined the cult! Someone shouts. But Grave Maw never took off that ring!
After the fight. We'll fight first, and then we'll I'll pull up the numbers.
Another group of gnolls rushes into the chamber.
One more round, yeah? Okay. There we go.
Not a single cultist remains standing. The Outlanders cheer, relieved that they can finally...
So, magical breakdowns, physical breakdowns, offensive, 15 stacks of Archer's Focus, not 25, only 15, thank you very much. Yeah, so I was at like 270 ranged power, so I would have needed 840, 850 spell power to break even, and hitting that like on a caster isn't hard. Fitting that while still getting like double shot and all the other stuff was not something I could work out. So I stuck with ranged power. Which is why I went with this over like Sorc EK, because Sorcerer, and well, Eldritch Knight in general, they have a D8. So you only need just over 2 times the spell power as ranged power, which is totally doable, like relatively easily.
Whispery voices and scraping sounds announce...
Oh, wait, there's a Carnage Reaper in there. There he is. He's so much more dangerous than everything else in that pack. There we go. But yeah, so that's why I went with this, because I didn't want to switch around all my filigree setup, because I'm got stuff like Long Shadow and all. Of course, the big benefit is going to be once I hit 20, I actually spent my runes, and I got an Epic Storm. So, ooh, lucky. Codex page already. So I have Epic Storm for myself at 20. I would consider trying to farm out and get a legendary one as well, but that didn't work out. And also the legendary one isn't like as big a deal because they kind of unified crit profiles. So while the epic one has extra crit multi on it, but the legendary one doesn't. So that's why I didn't really bother. Oh, sorry, when I said, like, Sorc, Eldritch Knight, I didn't mean melee. I meant another Inquisitive build, sorry. But, as I said, I'm going to be on Inquisitive for a couple lives, so I've got, like, 90% of the way there for builds of, like, every class as Inquisitive. Not every class, though. Not Monk. Or Sacred Fist. Because you can't be centered with crossbows. You can have favored weapon, but you cannot be centered. Which is unfortunate, but I guess you can't do every class as Inquisitive. Or at least not in like get benefits from your stances as monk. But so yeah, I've got saved like build files for fighter inquisitive, barbarian inquisitive, all sorts of things. Barbarian inquisitive is kind of dumb because like all the barbarian cores give melee power, not melee and ranged power, melee power. It's just like, well, I guess I'm going to rely on universal trees a bit more. Go away, Fury Reaper. Oh well. You will be remembered. Not as a very useful minion, but as a minion nonetheless. Who died while attempting to help. I wouldn't go so far as to say died while helping, but attempting to help is the best we're going to get here. Oh, no, you don't.
The fleeing priest's voice turns into a scream and is then cut short.
The funny thing is, I have done that in the past on characters that don't have enough search to open this wall. And if you kill him too fast and you can't search for that wall, you don't get the chest. Alright, so it looks like I'll have to do this last one without a hireling. Now, that's as far as I know. Maybe there's a lever somewhere that I don't know about, but I couldn't find it.
Judging from the old bones scattered on the floor, something large and dangerous has lived in this cave for some time.
It's just like, congratulations on absolutely crushing that dude. You kind of needed him to open the door, though. Which is really more of a tabletop sort of thing. Congratulations on your fine martial prowess and absolutely destroying them. Unfortunately, there are sometimes consequences to just using your sword as the solution. And sometimes that means you don't get loot. It's like, you were supposed to capture him alive. It's like, oh. Oops.
The cult of evil chaos has set up camp in this cave.
Actually, we should move. Like, can I face tank them, like, hitting me? Yeah, they don't hit that hard. But they do trip, and I don't feel like being helpless while 3 of them beat on me. Go.
With the Beastmaster defeated, we must now confront the creature he tried to tame.
Oh, I'm too tall. I'm just shooting over the goblin's head. Hate it when that happens. Alright. See you later, aviator. And I will. Although I am going to be ending stream relatively soon as well.
You spot skittering vermin inside the cavern chamber ahead. You can also see the nest of something much larger.
Because we will have reached the end of at least this chain of quests. And we're not going to start... Well, sorry, we're not going to finish a whole nother chain. But we'll probably poke around in Harbor a little bit. So let us see what is in the harbor. Double recall. It's like Total Recall, but with less Arnold. Just not as much Arnold. What is this ping? Okay. However, we did get some enhancement points to spend. The question is, what do we spend them on? That's always a trick early on. It's like, well, I know what I want to use them for eventually, but how can they best serve me right now? In this case, I have 3 points. 3 points, it's like, this doesn't get me much. Like, this is 2 points for 1 to hit and 2 to damage. That's okay. That's pretty decent. We could come over here and try to start working toward more imbue dice. But let's see, we need level 6 to take that. So we're not even going to be close to that. Like, we want it, but we can't get it, so there's no point really building to it. So we can come here and start going up here, but that's going to take a bit before it does anything good for us. We can't go here because, well, we don't have magical training. We could start trying to get magical training, but that's, again, a long way off. So we're just going to take that and that. Extra range on point blank shot, more damage, and yeah, that'll do it for us. 4 points on that level. Well, okay, we got 1 more point on that level, but we don't have that point right now. We're going to grab ourselves a new hire. Just because. And we're going to do a couple things in the harbor. By which I mean, I think I'm just going to hard farm kobolds and call it a night after that. All right, Frenzy.
The scurrying feet of kobolds can be heard nearby. It's likely you will encounter several of them in the next room. You should proceed with caution.
Okay, so this is going relatively well. All right, pull the lever, and off we go.
The door is locked tight and can only be opened when the room...
This is actually going better than I expected, because having to get magical training before I can get my stat to hit and damage, I thought would be a bigger penalty. Like, I thought I was going to be taking way more shots per kill. And especially down at this level, like, shots per kill can make a huge difference, because it's like, well, if you go from one-shotting things to two-shotting things, you're going half as fast. Well, assuming you're stopping to kill things, but that's a different issue entirely on whether or not you're stopping to kill things. Fortunately, we have a little bit of a delay here anyway. Our hireling is confused, but he's got spirit. Probably. He's getting his face absolutely eaten by the ogre there. But that's what happens if you stand there and take that triple hit ogre swing to the face. So yeah, 2 minutes, 3,000 XP. Well, okay. 7,000 XP once you factor in like tomes. This is why we're just gonna hard farm this out like we used to before they changed things. Just because it's such high XP that it's still worth it if you're being lazy. And I'm feeling a little bit lazy. Had a busy weekend. maybe I don't want to run through all of Harbor. No, if I had a group, obviously we go through all of Harbor, but for right now, we're just gonna come over here. Wait, where's the thingy? There it is. I came over here just to disable the trap. I don't even know if that's going to give me bonus XP or not. And if it does, I don't even know if the 10% is worth the time it took to run over there. But, you know, it's worth checking out, eh? And of course, because we are on Elite now instead of Reaper, I am being a little bit less respectful. So it's like, yeah, I can get you. I'm not going to kill stuff. Like, it might yellow alert me, but we're just going to try to hold W and see how that works. And so far, it's working all right. So yeah, that's... So we did get 10% before from just doing this fire trap over here. Let's see if we get 20 from doing 2 traps. Nope. So it is not worth it to go over there for the extra trap XP. Because there is no extra trap XP over there. It's a lie. I have been bamboozled. And I have no reason to stand still because I don't have precise shot. There we go. Even though we don't have first time bonus at all anymore, because they changed how bravery bonus works, it's still 3,500 in 2 minutes. So that's why I bothered doing it. This might get us up to level 4. Oh, no, it definitely won't. I just double checked the actual numbers, and it will not. But, you know, it's some quick and easy XP. We'll get some extra points. And by some extra points, I mean, I think just the 1. Yeah, we'll get just the 1 point, which I think, because we're going to be close enough, I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep running harbor quests until we get to level 4. And then we're going to take level 4 and we're going to do all our leveling stuff. And then we're going to find someone to raid. So if anyone has any suggestions, we will see who is on. Maybe Cozy Bean is on. Except that she runs like similar hours to me, so if we raid her, she'll be like just finishing up. Which is a fun troll to do, kind of. It's just like, I know you're about to end stream, but have more viewers so you feel compelled to stay. That's right. You're trapped by social convention. Feel obligated to do something that you're totally not actually obligated to do. Yes. We will stop with just the 1 trap. And yes, I know I didn't summon my hireling this time because, you know, it was hard. I figured the time it takes to summon him is not worth the time it takes that he would save me. And yeah, just like before, it's like 2,700 XP, but minute and a half. Still worth. All right. You know what? We're not going to do it on normal. We're going to try to do stealthy. Now, this is a quest where precise shot would be really, really good. Because it could mean I could just snipe all of the non-profits.
A set of kobold
Whereas instead, I have to be a little bit more
floor.
creative with it.
Sometime, several doors lead deeper into the warehouse. A high-pitched tinkling noise is the stink of unwashed kobolds pervades this room.
Oh, come on.
You wonder whether washed kobolds smell any better.
Right, that's profit. Do I have good line of sight on warrior? Yes.
A stairway leads down
Excellent.
into a lower section of the warehouse. Several steps.
That's
are
profit.
separated
That's a
with
normal one.
spots.
That's a plague reaper. Okay. We don't have dungeon alert yet, so we're not getting slowed, so that's good. Can we pull this without getting interrupted? Yes. Yes, very good. Scaring mist is gone. That's a normal kobold. That's a profit. Yeah, I can't shoot that because I don't have precise shot. That's another profit. That's a warrior. Wow. Unlucky and reaper heavy this time. That's, what, 4 reapers so far, or 3? So that's a profit. That's a normal kobold. Okay. We're still at yellow alert. Back down to green. We have killed 0 profits so far.
Surprisingly, the ramp is spotless and dust-free. This makes you feel uneasy. This must be the
Come on, you
kobold's
bastard.
Ersatz shrine.
Got him. Now we can kill all the profits we want. It'll tell us we failed, but we won't have failed. And it's not like we can recall with all these guys here. So we're just gonna kite our way around. But yes, that is my preferred way to do stealthy repossession. Is run through, not full Zerg and get red dungeon alert, just because I find it too risky. Like, you just get hit once and you're toast. I prefer to, like, try to snipe the not profits while going through. Now, one way you can do it is you can actually break it up. Like, you can do the first pull, like pull the first like 2 levers, then kill everything. There'll be like 3 or 4 profits in there. But then as long as you don't kill any more for the rest, well, you're fine. Right, but that brings us to level 4, and we will be taking a 2nd level of Rogue. So hello, Jeets. We want charisma, because we are charisma-based. Why are we charisma-based? Reasons. Alright, so we will take disable device. We will take search and spot. We will take open lock. We will take bluff. And we got evasion. Alright, so 2 main things we're doing. We have 1 point. Where's 1 point going? I'm going to put 1 point there. Doesn't help us much, but, you know, might as well. And then we have a lot of points. We're going to spend all of them. Let's get Dex. Actually, no, let's get Strength. Now, why Strength? Given that Strength doesn't do anything for our build. Because we are low level. And Strength Drain sucks. Right. Physical. Reflex. There we go. And that will do it. We have TR'd. We have successfully not disconnected with our freshly downloaded RAM. And we have yeah. We have hit level 4 after our TR and everything. Do I know anyone else who is on? No. Oh wait, Cozy's being featured on a DDO stream. Let us go over there. So... thank you all for stopping by and hanging out. Say hello to Cozy for me. And we will see how much I am on again now that I have fixed my network issues. Thank you for hanging out, and good night. Hi. She apparently did not notice that I had just raided her. I raided your stream about 2 minutes before that, and I saw someone in chat being like, "Hey, you should raid that guy," and I'm like, "Oh," and then I saw on your screen when you pulled up Twitch that you had the box up top that's like, getting ready to raid. Oh, that's what that bug means. Okay, so, yeah, let me... The funny thing is, the reason DDO wasn't up, I had just closed it, so OBS was not catching it. So, yeah. Who else is on? I only saw, like, Ostracar and, like, one other. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much done for the night. It's a work night. It's midnight. I'm on the East Coast. Wicked Crow, Nestor. I don't think I've seen Nestor. Let me check the list. Oh, wait, let me move this over here. Oh yeah, I know. I was just trying to think. Thank you, Glass Jaws. This is really the test of my reflexes. I was like, find some raid now, go. Let's see. I could have sworn that I'd seen Wicked Crow before. Okay, yeah. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, Wicked Crow is the next one down. Let us go to him. I believe, yes. You did not give me a heart attack. The funny thing is, I didn't realize that my stream was still live after the raid in order for me to be able to be raided. It's just like, I saw myself pop up and it's just like, huh, I hadn't turned off OBS yet. I didn't realize this was a thing. Fortunately, fully clothed, no, like, weird shit going on in the background, nothing like that. So, yeah. Thank you for for the shout out and sending all these people my way. I appear to have fixed my my hardware issue that was making streams drop for like randomly 30 seconds to a minute. So I will probably be back. The answer, by the way, was to download more RAM. When I was hitting 100% RAM usage, it was my network driver decided it didn't want to connect to the network anymore. Don't know why, but we have fixed it with 64 more gigs of RAM. So we're going to head over to Wicked Crow. How's that spelled? Come on now. W-I-K-K-I-D. So thank you all for stopping by. If you are a newbie, feel free to stop by, ask questions. If I can't answer it, I can probably send you to someplace that has the information. So thank you all. Thank you, Cozy, specifically. And once again, for anyone who came from my stream to Cozy and back, thank you for stopping by. And good night. All right. We appear to have people all readied up, and we shall bounce over there.